Welcome back to the ESR. Mr. X joined by Max. Odd Slice Malo fixed his hair a little bit, stopped slicking it all the way back. Had to mush it around a little bit. Look how, see, like, look at the difference between mine and yours, Max.
Like, okay, so, like, this is like the only barbershop like near my college. Yeah, it's an excuse. Near my college, and usually I get good haircuts from them. But this guy was like, hey, we're selling this, we're getting this product, put this product in your hair. And I'm like, nah, man, don't do it, please. And he put it in anyway, and now people saying I got mugged. People are saying I'm missing hair. Just
in the barbershop power rankings, your barbershop would not even make the list in the power rankings. They would be down at the bottom.
My dream team would even beat the barbershop. Remember that? My dream team was pretty bad.
Your dream team was awful. So going into third place in our power rankings, if you're just tuning in, 8th place was AR, 7th was Envy, 6th was Prof, 5th was FaZe, 4th was TK. Third place, we have Aware, which pretty much hottest team in the game right now outside of OPTIC Gaming. Could have made a very good case that they should probably be in second. That's probably the case I'm going to make. 21-21 in Season 1 through 42 games. Hottest team in Season 1, though, outside of OG, 11-3 over their last 14. So since Week 7, 11-3, dominating since then. And Huke, second in overall KD, 1.19. Only trails to Scump. Scump's at a 1.24. Second in kills per respawn, 31.35. Only trails Scump by a small percentage, 31.84. Scump. Max, can't say enough good about this team. Obviously, they're going to be at the playoff event, not going to be at Champs, but this team, I mean, they just dominate in the slaying department. With TJ Haley, Happy, and Huke, they're just a very tough team to overcome. Yeah.
Kind of like a mini OG type squad if you're going to put young talent, young slaying talent together right now. And you got Accuracy, who pretty much just needs to just run around getting hells. But this team is performing amazing. Huke, finally get to see him in the league on a steady team. Obviously, he was subbing for FaZe in the first half of Season 1. But after being traded, he's performing great. Happy also was the best statistical slayer through the first 3 or 4 weeks of Season 1. And TJ Haley continued to prove himself. Obviously second at Orlando with Stunner Gaming. But I thought they were third. I know you said you may make an argument for them being second. But I still, Aware just a team has been too up and down for me to put them in second. Started out 4-0, 0-6, and just been up and down from there. But right now, very hot, 11-3.
I mean, minus Scum, Huke is pretty much in first place in every killing category in the league. I don't know. Second and third is a toss for me. I want to say, well, who do you think places? Well, let's show our second place team run. Second place, we have Denial. Obviously, these two are the ones we're going to be arguing probably the most. Denial, 26-14 in Season 1 through 40 games, 11-5 since Week 7. They're 9-3. This is where I can see your argument. 9-3 since trading Zuma and Clay for Zuma and Saints for Clay and Cap. Clay, pretty much tearing it up with the new team, playing extremely well. I would like to see the win-loss spread. Is the win-loss spread for Aware when they're 11-3 over the last 14 since getting Huke and Haley? I believe that is, because that trade went down the same week. So it is.
Yes. But it was just...
So then how do you have Denial over Aware?
Denial's just been more consistent as a team.
Yeah, but you're taking their consistency, though, when?
Well, I'm saying in the sense of this. So they're second place, right?
Yes.
Or, top 3, obviously with Prophecy. And you trade away arguably your 2 best players in Zuma and Saints. Agreed?
Yeah.
And
arguably, yeah.
You would say Envy traded away. I'd say Clay was probably the, you say JCap probably wasn't the best player.
JCap was their weakest player.
Right, okay.
JCap was their weakest player.
Out of the 3 Slayers. And Clayster. So you trade the weakest player from Envy and Clayster, who's performing very well, to Denial. And Denial still is in the top 3.
But nothing really changed from them recently.
You would expect a drop-off, wouldn't you, if you traded Zuma and Saints?
You would expect some drop-off, but I mean, we're not going to write Attach and replays off like they're not very good. I think the player there is Attach, who's been performing very well since Zuma and Saints have gone. I don't think It reminds me of Attach at the end of Ghost, playing like that, just playing phenomenal. I think, well, who do you think will place higher at Season 1 playoffs? Think Aware or Denial?
That's tough because Aware, very young, and a team like Aware can ride momentum all the way to the finals. We saw Stunner do it at Orlando. TJ Halley making unbelievable type plays in UpTic. Obviously that buzzer beater, but taking veterans into consideration and Attach, like Merck said when he was on the show last week, Attach is poised for a big champs. He's going to be a breakout player to look out for. Clay, top 3 at champs last year. Missing, and obviously not placing well in Black Ops 2. But replays still arguably a top 2 OBJ in my opinion in this game. And JCap is performing a lot better. But in a matchup, it would be tough. I think it would probably go to a game 5. And I'm gonna say I would take Denial just because veteran leaders and they would be able to get it done in crunch time.
So I'm over here on my computer. I'm just looking some stuff up.
Okay, go ahead.
Ron, actually, we can throw it over to the computer real quick. This is what I wanted to look up. I was over here. The argument, for coming to LAN really would have came down to, how Happy and Accuracy could have played. So Accuracy struggled a little bit overall at Orlando, coming up with only, 0.87. But look at Happy's KD, 1.17. That's a very good KD, at LAN. It looks like a 1.13 in hardpoint, a 1.32 in uplink. You team up him, you can come back to me, Ron. You team up him with, Hugh and TJ Haley. That might even be better than the Stunner team in the slaying department. That's scary because the Stunner team, the only thing that they lacked against OPTIC Gaming was slaying. If you put another player like Hugh in, which Happy seems like he was, at least at Orlando, I think they're probably, sitting very nice to number 2, definitely in a toss-up with Denial, I think.
So you're trading Accuracy and Happy for Perplexed and Vexed, correct?
Yeah. Let me see something real quick.
I think Aware just lacks mental toughness. And I think Accuracy is a big exclamation point. He's in a spotlight position right now with Aware, who you could say probably the hottest team outside of OG as far as performance standards since week 7. But I think the team might just lack mental toughness. If they face against a FaZe, or if FaZe can work out their personality issues, if they face an OG, or they even face an Envy. When it comes to LAN, I think Envy would even beat this team on LAN.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just adding some stuff up here. I'll take that number. I'm trying to get their overall KD if you would have added those 2 players in. So let's do this.
Okay.
Yeah, no. They would have actually been, in the top 2 in KD if you were to take Happy and Accuracy, swap them out for Vex and Perplex, because can bring it up over here, Ron. Stunner at Orlando. It was Hugh with a 1.10, TJ Haley with a 1.11. It's a very good performance out of those guys. Vex finished with a little bit lower KD than Accuracy. So Accuracy with a 0.87, Vex with a 0.84, and then Perplexed at a 1.10. But, I mean, you throw Happy on that team, Max. I think you have a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
And they're performing hot. I think you messed this one up.
No, I don't think so.
I think you messed this one up.
I think I called it right. I think they're performing. All right, well, maybe if
I'm a big Denial fan as well. I think, come champs time, I think Denial will be the closest thing to probably beat OPTIC. I would say Denial and Denial TK Envy. I don't know what's going to go on with FaZe. Can't really predict that, but
you can't call that yet.
If this Aware team was going to champs, would they be the second? Would they be right there with OPTIC Gaming as your number 2?
No. Just because right now at my champs, I kind of have OPTIC, Denial, and Envy. Just a rough champs prediction. That would be my top 3.
You would feel stronger about Envy. Let's say champs was this weekend. You would feel stronger about Envy than Aware.
Yeah, Envy has not placed outside of the top 2 at a champs, and it's just the mental toughness of Merc and Nameless. Obviously, with Zuma and Saints, say what you want about Rambo and Study, but when you compare Rambo and Study to Zuma and Saints, which roster do you think is much stronger?
Where it's a completely different game. You can't compare that.
Well, I'm just comparing roster-wise. If you're gonna say Rambo is still playing, right?
Yeah.
You take Merc, Rambo, Study, and Nameless, or Merc.
But you have no idea how Rambo would have been in this game. It's like an invalid argument.
I don't know. Rambo Ray he's an OBJ, legend. But this roster is on land looks amazing. I think if they didn't start off so poorly in season 1, they haven't moved out of the 6th, 7th, or 8th spot. They've been fluctuating up and down. Yeah, they've been fluctuating in that entire season. If they started the season with this roster, they'd probably be top 4 right now.
So you really think LAN event this weekend that Envy would beat Aware?
Yeah, depends on just head up.
Depends on what?
I'm saying straight up bracket play.
Yes.
Yeah, Envy would beat them.
And then who was the other team that you had in your top 4?
Denial, OPTIC, Envy, and Denial.
Then Denial, I think, would be like a toss-up. I think Aware beats Envy. They play this weekend. Envy hasn't. I haven't seen anything out of Envy that would say that they would beat Aware. It seems like Nameless and Zuma arguing a little bit mid-game. Nobody really can kind of put their thumb on what's going on over there. They have up and down days. That's the scariest thing with me. Going into the qualifier to last year at US Regionals, the thing that scared me about Curse Las Vegas, I talked about it with Gandhi a little bit before the event, was if I came in and told you, Curse Las Vegas won US Regionals, wouldn't shock you at all, right? You came in and said Curse Las Vegas just imploded, didn't even qualify, which ended up happening. Would that shock you at all? Probably wouldn't have shocked you either. So that's kind of what scares me, is that teams that have such an up and down side to them.
Yeah, but that Curse Las Vegas team going into regionals last year, we all expected them to qualify. I didn't think they were that strong. I thought they were much stronger with Nameless than Ricky.
Yeah, because they got rid of Nameless after Philly, right? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because the whole Parasite went to OPTIC, and then he came back with Ricky to Las Vegas.
I completely disagree with you on the Aware Envy thing. I still can't believe you think that. I think you're wrong. Let's chat a little bit. Obviously, first place OPTIC Gaming has yet to been 3-0'd. That's kind of the stat that looks out for me. You're not going to beat these guys pretty easily. 35-5 in season 1 through 40 games, just completely crushing. Now, their losses came to Justice in week 1, Aware in week 8. I want to point that out. Aware, since making that roster change, beat OPTIC Gaming, but still not in Max's top 2 because Max doesn't know what he's talking about. Lost a 3-2 to Prophecy and Rise in week 5, and then TK week 8, which that match against TK actually is huge for TK. They were able to win that. Both of their week 5 losses came with bows. And then Scump, you might want to put MVP of the whole league at this point. Scump leads all players in overall KD, 1.24. All players in kills per respawn at a 31.84, and then he's second in KD and S&D with a 1.20. I think that's really what comes out and shocks me, is that S&D KD. Scump not really known for his S&D play, but playing very well in that game mode.
Scump is, bar none, the MVP of Season 1, in my opinion. Playing amazing and performing when you have Crim6 and Formal on your team. With those types of numbers is hard. You're vying for kills and for statistics against Crim and Formal. So, props to Scump, playing amazing. And still, that stat of not being 3-0'd throughout the entire season is mind-boggling.
I don't know what's sillier. I think Scump, the stat of not being 3-0'd is kind of silly, but you kind of expect that with that team. I mean, Formal Scump and Crim, you're not going to lose respawns. I mean,
never.
Let's be real, you're not going to lose respawns. The Scump KD is kind of silly. A 1.24. That's pretty absurd. 31 kills, pretty much 32 kills per spawn. Just silly from him and Formal. Just kind of the entire season. Burns was on. And he thought, his opinion, he thought that Formal was the MVP of the league. I asked him because he thought Formal's role is a lot harder to duplicate on teams. He thought Clayster was the only one who really does it to Formal's level. Is that Formal with such so much ASM play being used is able to use the bow and use it very effectively, locking down those lanes. You could argue that. I think Crim you can argue Crim, Formal, and Scump. I think Crim has taken a little bit more of a backseat, let Formal and Scump slay a little bit, and Crim is kind of almost playing like an Aix type of position where just kind of like leading everybody around and doing a little bit of everything, helping Nate out a lot.
Yeah. And Scump, he got that from Aix. He's teamed with Aix before. And in my opinion, you could even make an argument that this is his strongest game. Strongest, compared to, I would say his 3 strongest games would be, not in any order, AW, Black Ops 1, and Modern Warfare 3.
Scump?
Yeah. Those were his top three strongest games, not in any order, in my opinion. But yeah, he had to change his role a bit. But when he put him in a leadership type role, and when you have, when you can, say to your Slayers, hey, Crim and Formal, go do that, and they're going to go and do it. They're not going to lose their gunfights. They're going to go do exactly what Scump tells them to do. And then Scump has free reign to just dominate the rest of the map.
I think that's kind of how you have to let a player like Scump play, though. I think it's kind of like you look at it. I think Saints is that type of player. I think Karma, right after we're done talking about the gaming, we'll go to a commercial. We'll talk about some of the other teams that are forming for champs. But I think those are 2 players that you kind of look at, same areas. Scump and say, just go do you, everybody else will fill in the spots. Because when you try and put those players in, I don't want to say like a cage or a box, but you tell Karma what to do and he'll do it, but you're not getting the best out of his play. He's a lot more valuable when just kind of let him do his thing. Yeah.
I would completely agree. Scump and Karma. And who else did you say? There's Scump, Karma, and...
Scump, Karma, and Saints, I think, is the same player.
Right. Definitely players that need to just go and do their own thing. Just because when they do, they're just extremely dominant. But yeah, can't say enough about how well Scump is performing. OPTIC Gaming definitely deserving of the #1 power ranking position. Just that 3-0 stat is still crazy. Like they lost 1-3 to Justice.
That's in the league. That's not on LAN.
Right. What did I say?
No. Just clarifying for people in the chat.
Gotcha.
Twitter, whatnot.
Okay. Right. So 1-3 Justice week 1. Lost 1-3 to Aware.
Their only real loss is their only real losses are to Teak. I mean, they played with Bose, so obviously that's a little bit of drop off. I think Crim was out that week. So
yeah,
those are with a sub. With their actual lineup, they've lost to Justice week 1, which they struggled week 1. They were still adjusting how to figure it out. I don't think that's even the same OPTIC Gaming. They're 2 real losses you look at. To Aware and TK, and you have Aware in 3rd.
Yeah.
You have Aware in 3rd, even though they have a better record since week 7 than Denial, and they have a win against OPTIC Gaming.
I think going 11-3 over your last 14 games is well deserving of a top 3 position. But when you've been up and down as you have been in the entire league, I think Denial is just a more stable and better performing team.
To each their own, Max.
I guess.
Their own. Yeah, guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. But let me and Max know what you think about the power rankings. If you think anybody should be in a different position than you are, I think Aware should be 2nd. Max.
Oh, AR should be 2nd, huh?
No. I think AR is playing better, not that good. Aware, I think Aware should be in 2nd. Max, he had Denial in 2nd in our weekly power rankings. But stay tuned. We're going to chat a little bit about some of the teams that are formed for champs, and then also get into tonight's league matches. Stay tuned, guys.